Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with?
And welcome everyone to the Man Cave. My name is Paul Knapp, and I'll be your host for tonight's show. This is season number 1, episode number 20, and waiting in the green room is our special guest, Luciano Castellani. He is the owner and operator of Toy Soldier Central. But before we get to him, let's see who my backup singers are tonight. And the same backup singer that I had last night is with us tonight. This is Dan the Man Leather Tan. How you doing, sir?
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
How's the rocket? Did it take off? You said you were watching the rocket.
I was watching the SpaceX. I don't know. I had to jump off to join this, so it
I'm
was still in the air. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I could watch it again, but if somebody's in the chat, let me know. Did it blow up or did it actually land again?
Say that, man. Jeez.
You know, well, they've had a lot of rough luck with that one.
Yeah. And also back for round 2, Mr. Sexy himself, Rick Bradshaw. How you doing, Rick?
I can't miss Tuesday night, Soldier night.
We're gonna convert you, man. I'm telling you.
You already have.
All right, cool. And as always, Mr. Joe Baker, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. And representing Canada once again, John Salatellis. You feeling any better than last week?
Feeling better.
Sounds good. Your voice is back.
What's that?
I said your voices sound a little better.
Yep.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, hey, man, I'm excited, man. We finally got Toy Soldier Central on here. We've been talking about him in the last couple of weeks. Showed off some of his products. I did a couple videos on his stuff, so I'm glad to finally get him on the show. Anybody want to say who's in the chat room? John, why don't you take over, man? Can you read it tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. So, voice feeling better. Moondoggy, how's it going? Lone Wolf, Big Boss Jack, Ronald McDonald, all the way from the UK. Hey, he might know Direwolf Scenics.
Yeah, he might. Just a lot of repeats.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we got some people in the chat room. We got 9 people already. So let's go around the room and say what's new in your zoo. And John, since you did
Mark came in right now.
Mark just popped in. Thanks, Mark. John, why don't you go first, man?
All right.
You don't want me to run that video now, do you?
No, actually, we'll do it. I wanted to show a couple of things.
Okay.
So everybody knows. I just wanted to show a nice custom job that of the CTS / Airfix Hanomag right here. You guys can see it. Picked this up from Chicago last year.
You did that, or somebody made that?
No, somebody made it.
Okay.
A friend of mine, Scott Schrader, who's an incredible painter, figures and vehicles. He gave me this. We actually just met last year through Dave Dave Cook of McShawn's, and we hung out all weekend. It was he had brought a couple of these things with him. And I said, don't even bother setting them up anywhere because I'm buying them. So shout out to Scott. I found some interesting things online looking for accessories and logs and rocks and stuff like that. So so I'm going to show you guys. Oops, that fell. Doesn't matter. So we have logs like this, and these are like they're resin, so they're pretty solid.
All right.
Very, very well painted. They come in 3 sizes. This is the biggest one. I'm assuming it's around. This one's around 4 inches, so you got 3 and 2.5 and something like this. They look like this. They come in packs of 3. And same seller also has like boulders like this. These are just foam, very, very light.
Yeah.
So they're pretty useful for everybody's dioramas. Yeah, and well, last but not least, so like the story was going for the past couple of weeks that I was looking for the Stalingrad Marmalade Fountain,
Yeah.
and the, a friend of the show, Michael Frederick, um, suggested that I try that I look up Direwolf Scenics in the UK, and that they have it, and they can more or less print it in any scale. So I contacted Paul. Like I think I said this last week. I contacted Paul Bell from Direwolf Scenics and asked if he could make that for me. He did. He shipped it and came here today. Just in time. I'm just going to be really, really careful. So this
Oh,
is
wow.
it. If you guys can see it.
Beautiful.
That's one piece
That's actually one piece. Yeah,
in resin too.
yeah, in resin. Yeah, it's
Oh my, that's got to be heavy, huh?
it's okay. It's not that bad. Yeah. So
Is there water in the outer ring or
no,
no?
not yet. Well, actually, at the time of just the
Winter
event,
battle.
the movie and everything, and which was like in the winter, it was empty because there was no. We just there might have been some frost and some ice and stuff like that. But yeah, so I really quickly I wanted to do something to actually show everybody how it can look in a quick diorama. I didn't really, so just a real quick.
Closer,
Yeah.
closer, higher,
Yeah.
higher, higher, closer.
Oh, nice.
That's
Oh,
cool.
wow. Look at that.
There you go. Yep.
So it's yeah, something like that. It's very, very nice. Yeah, I've been wanting it for a long time. So a huge thanks and shout out to Michael for turning me on to Direwolf Scenics, which I knew, but it's just that it never, especially with companies in the abroad, it's hard to remember everything. And
Yep.
so yeah, thanks again. He showed me a lot of that stuff, which you will show now as particularly a Norman church.
You want me to put it up now?
Whenever you're ready.
I just lost it.
Okay, basically, for all fans of people who know Saving Private Ryan, the scene with the Norman Church when Private Jackson, I think, is on the tower as a sniper, and
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull it in, dude.
well, okay. Well, oh, here you go.
There you go.
That's the one. That's in 132 scale, or is it 130? But it can be done. I mean, Paul can actually manufacture it in whatever.
And a couple pics here. Yeah, that looks
Yeah,
good.
there you go. Yeah,
And that's resin too, huh?
yeah. Well, it's 3D, so I'm not. You know what? Actually, I didn't even ask him if it was actual resin but it's it feels like it. So I got the fountain painted as well, so he can actually paint your models as well. We can get them unpainted. If you don't want to go through the hassle, like I definitely don't want to go through the hassle, and I know I'm not going to do as good of a job. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's that the
Yeah,
Norman
that's cool.
church from the Rommel church is called from I guess from the town, which is a fictional building. It was only for the movie, didn't really exist, but I guess it served its purpose in the especially the tower did, for the film. So it's beautiful. And he's got some other models. He's got some Stalingrad factories. He's got a lot of buildings, European buildings damaged and not. He's got the Wisterham Casino that appears in The Longest Day.
Oh, nice.
That's which is just an amazing piece and really needs to be released at some point somehow in 132.
Ronald McDonald asked, "Was that the same fountain from Enemy at the Gates?" From the
Yes.
movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Is that the diorama you're trying to make? Enemy at the Gates.
It's basically a Stalingrad battle diorama. I'm probably gonna pick a scene or a specific scene that I like more. There's a few that are in my mind right now, but I mean the factory has to be included, and I mean that's pretty expansive. If I'm gonna make one, it's gonna have to be kind of like in the scope of the D-Day, at least 6 feet. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two Stalingrad movies. One I think was in 2003, if I'm not mistaken, which I still haven't seen, and there was one in 2013, Russian in Russian, but with subtitles, which was really really well shot, and artistically it was just a beautiful.
T-34.
And I'm sorry,
Wasn't it called T-34? That was a good one, I think.
I don't know.
It had subtitles. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, T-34 is another one. T-34 is another one. This one's called Stalingrad.
Oh, it's called Stalingrad?
Yeah, so it's called Stalingrad, and yeah, there's some great scenes. Like there's a scene with a flamethrower and I think a school bus in there with children inside there with them driven with a flamethrower. I could be mistaken by this. There was definitely a flamethrower. It was around the park as well, the park with a fountain. So yeah, that was really crazy. Good movie. I personally liked it. I mean, I've read reviews where they say, well, historically it's not as
Yeah.
but it was very very well done and
Cool.
and shot. So yeah,
That's it?
Got it. No.
Is that it or no? Got more?
That's it for me.
All right.
Very good.
Dano, you're up, buddy.
Paul, do you like gladiator movies?
Yeah, my movies about gladiator.
Do you like Men
That's
in
all I
Tights?
got tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
I
All
have
right.
that. I
Oh,
have that.
man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So I got these, and I haven't had the guts yet to paint them. So, but this is what
Oh,
you
yeah.
get.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. I
got
have that
backwards.
set.
Got them backwards. I don't know if you can see any of these guys here.
You get the lion. And there's a
Yeah.
bear with that set too, I think.
Yeah, I mean I don't know what bear this is, but he's he's
I always wish they
not
were
full
bigger.
grown, that's for sure. But no, I mean these are
I think-
really really nice in there.
There were some females in that
Tell me if
set,
I'm
too.
wrong, guys, but this is pretty hard to track down for a fairly inexpensive price.
Yeah.
I saw these on eBay for like $60-$70.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah, so there's two sets of the same thing. That's why I'm kind of nervous about cleaning them up and painting them, because I mean I got these fairly cheap, but that's why I haven't had the balls to paint them. I usually paint everything, and I'm like,
Paint them.
I
Paint
don't
them.
think you have any trouble.
yeah. So
Just soak them in dish soap first.
oh yeah. Do that. Wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol, and we're good to go. But that's what I got tonight.
All right. Well, Rick, you're up next.
Oh, what do I got? I have nothing.
All right. Good job.
No, I have to. Okay. So 1/18 scale. Ready?
Wrong show. It's the wrong show.
But this is what you got.
So still a toy soldier.
Yeah, it's
how about
still Toy
that?
Soldiers.
German soldiers were very nice.
Sidecar or no
Indiana
sidecar on
Jones.
that? That's the. Is there a sidecar on that or no?
No, this is the one of the
ones that was
soldiers
chasing
that
them.
chase Indiana Jones and his father in the Last Crusade.
So you throw the spear, the flag thing through the front
Yep,
wheel to get the
Yep. and
catapult.
here's the motorcycle out of the package. Look at this thing.
Wow.
Is this thing amazing?
And the wheels still turn?
Yeah, wheels turn, and the handles
Oh,
turn.
you still can move it. Wow.
Is that a Hasbro
Yeah.
one?
What is that?
Is that
Hasbro?
Hasbro?
Yeah, Hasbro.
Okay.
And the thing about these is, in the movie, of course, they're totally not authentic. They're like these mountain. What do they call them? Off-road mountain motorcycles. I don't know what they call them. And they're like touched up to look like German motorcycles.
They're dirt bikes, and according to that commercial,
Dirt bikes. That's what.
oh, dirt bikes because they're not clean bikes. Yeah.
And then I got, if you really want to, all right, we'll go back to 1/32. We got these little guys,
Oh, there
Oh
you go.
yeah, there we go.
Astronauts.
astronauts. And I found these guys at, I think, Goodwill.
Oh,
I found a whole bunch of them. And I don't know if they're original or if they're recast. I have no idea.
What's the name on the bottom?
Nothing.
Nothing. Wow.
Nothing. And there's 7 of them. I'll show you 6 of them.
Yep, dirt bikes.
I love astronaut figures.
Yeah.
Those are
And these
actually
guys
pretty
are cool. They're fun to photograph. They're so much fun.
You can paint those up.
You can paint them. You can do whatever. And Murray, you're watching. Murray,
Murray's here.
I did a photograph just before the show where I photographed these guys in front of my computer on a moonscape.
Nice. We were
Yeah.
talking about that last night. Yeah.
And Murray did a photo of his G.I. Joe Action Man astronauts in front of his TV. And there's a way to shoot these things. You can, and Dan, you know, you have to light the photo. You have to light the figures because the TV turns them into silhouettes if you don't. Right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They have to, so I'll send you a couple examples.
But see, the one thing you can do though is you can say that the spacecraft was, between him and the sun,
Yes,
so that's why he's dark.
and it can work out really well. But Murray didn't do that. But Murray took some cool shots. He really did. And I edited a couple of his shots. Anyways,
That's it.
that's it. That's what I got.
Right on. Sorry, Joe, you're last, but you still get to go.
Okay. It's been a crazy, month. I can go a year without finding any box play sets, and I found the 2 Civil War Leaf boxes, and then the Fort Apache at an antique mall, and then at a online auction besides eBay.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see that.
yeah, that's an old Alamo
Not
there.
my Alamo set, and got that at a real good price, and so it's kind of cool.
How complete was it?
There's the problem. It's a lot of the figures were broken, so
Yeah.
I have to replace about half the figures. But the accessories were good, the buildings were good, box was good, had bags, So
Oh wow, yeah.
so it was for including shipping 180.
Yeah, that's not bad for
And I'm
that.
pretty happy for that. So
Yeah.
so that's like I said, that's very unusual for me to end up with 4 boxes in a month. So
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Right on. Well, I got one thing to talk about. Not much. One of our followers had sent me this. Sent me a little nice note. Joe, you know this individual, right?
Yep.
You know his work. This is Gary Duco from Gettysburg, and he does a lot of conversions. And this is a one that he put together. He saw my video on the Alamo, and he wanted to gift me this, and he said, "Hope it fits in. It definitely will." Thank you very much, Gary. I know you're not doing many conversions now. Sold a lot of his collection, but this will definitely find a place in my Alamo. So I do appreciate that.
That's been needed for so long, that type of setup.
Yeah. And you guys get these? The hat. Now these say 7 Years War, but I use them for Revolutionary War. I don't know how off the uniforms are. What do you guys think?
I always thought that was great stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty true 1/32 scale.
Yes.
I just got all these in, and they're already blue and yellow, or no, blue and white, I think, and a light blue. So, other than my new flag here, 250 years since the shot heard round the world. I'll leave that up for the summer. Seeing who else joined us tonight. Logic Blasters in the house. Thank you. Ronald McDonald still with us.
Gotta say hi to my friend Jason Evans. First time watching.
Oh, thanks.
Welcome, brother, and we'll definitely see you in Schaumburg in Chicago this year.
Okay, now you guys asked me before the show, how do you type in there? Now you just typed in there.
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Oh, I thought I saw
No.
you typing in there. None of you guys can type in there.
Nope.
Just me. Just me. I
Yeah.
wonder how Stacy does that on Monday nights, man.
I don't know.
Has his phone or
Maybe he
something.
goes onto his phone and he's
Oh, you know
He's a
what?
computer
Maybe
whiz.
he does both.
Yep.
He has it on his phone and texts in that way. Huh? I didn't even think about that.
That's how when I'm watching. That's how I have to do it because I watch it on my big screen TV, and then I have my cell phone with me so I can.
All right. Well, that
doing it that
answers
way.
that. Yep.
I'm blind. That's why like I have a big monitor I'm watching now. That's why you see my eyes dodge. I'm looking over there to read the
The chats.
chat and everything like that, and you know, so that's why I'm like, because I'm blind, I can't see nothing.
Yeah.
12 inches from me, so now I have to have a big screen, so I have to do this now.
I did drop a video yesterday. I don't know if you guys caught that. If you follow my channel, the Revolutionary War set that I displayed. So
Yes.
I have that up right now. Did a little research on the Men of 76. It was a line that came out in 1972 and was sold at Shell gas stations.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm not gonna keep this guy waiting anymore. He is live with us, but he doesn't have his picture up because he's a little under the weather tonight. This is Luciano. How you doing tonight, sir?
What's going on, guys? I'm doing as good as I can with this cold, but I gotta say, buying toy soldiers from Shell gas stations, man, that was the real renaissance of toy soldiers, man. I'm sad I missed that era, but doing my part to bring that era back now.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I know it's been a while. Been trying to get you on. We finally got you on, and sorry you're under the weather, but hey, man, we got you.
I'm glad to be on. Thanks for having me. And I also want to say that I was paying close attention to the collections that some of the guys have displayed in the backgrounds. And it reminds me of how I first got introduced to toy soldiers. So when I was about like 5 or 6 years old, it started when my dad just randomly bought me a Forces of Valor infantry set. And that's when I instantly fell in love with toy soldiers. And I still have a bunch of Forces of Valor sets still in the boxes to this day. They're my favorite toy soldiers besides the ones I make myself.
Nice.
Yeah,
So you
they're,
grew up a little bit later. You're a little bit younger than us. I'm not going to ask your age, but you're not familiar with the Marx play sets, right? I mean, you might be familiar with them, but you didn't have them, right, as a kid?
The only Marx playset I was lucky enough to have was the one that came with that gray mountain. That was it was only half designed.
Guns of Navarone.
Nails in our own,
Yeah, that was good. I remember those figures. They were very detailed, and I think they came in gray. Yeah, but unfortunately, I was a kid. I didn't appreciate what I had at the time. All those soldiers are missing in action now.
They're not alone.
Yeah, they're not alone. There's a lot of them out there. So tell us how you got started with Toy Soldier Central.
So I would say about like 3 years ago, I had a little hobby where I would paint up toy soldiers and I would sell the painted sets. And then eventually, one of my friends, I'm going to shout her out here. Her name is Carolina. She was working and still does to this day for a 3D printing company. And we were just randomly having a conversation about 3D printing. And she just mentioned to me that a lot of people 3D print miniatures. And so immediately I connected the dots, and my passion for toy soldiers combined with how accessible it is to start producing them now, just it instantly launched this business idea that I hope to scale to be my main source of income within the next year.
I tell you what, you're open to new ideas. I mean, you listen to the things I talked to you about. You listen to the Plastic General. I know you're close with him.
Christian and I just had a phone call about an hour ago, and let's just say he and I got something special planned to release to the toy soldier community. And also, you mentioned that I take advice. I just want to stress this, okay? Any business owner that ignores what their clientele suggests is a fool. So I refuse to make that mistake.
Well,
Nice.
he Christian he likes to call me as well,
Yeah.
and he called me at 10 o'clock at night my time. Which,
That's his style.
I know, because he's wide awake at 2 in the morning. So he calls me
Yeah.
at 10. I'm already in bed, and you know how he's like flying. You know, he's
Yeah.
on more Red Bull than anybody that I know. And he's like, "Hey man, I hear you got Luciano on this week. Okay, here's what you got to ask him." And, blah, 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 blah. And he's rambling. And I'm like half asleep. I'm like, And then when I hang up with him, I'm like, now I can't get to sleep because he's got me wired. And I'm like, I'm getting I mean, that dude is crazy, but
I like his energy, man, and it
he
gives me a lot of good ideas.
keeps the hobby alive for sure,
Yeah.
man. So.
Yeah.
So tell us what's new in your zoo. What are you working on now that's not on your eBay store or maybe we don't see on your website
So
that
actually,
you can talk about?
regarding my website and my eBay store, I currently have both set on vacation mode because right now I'm focusing on two things. I got a huge backlog of orders I'm needing to fulfill, so I want to take care of that before I accept new orders. And then the second thing, which ties into your question, is I have a whole bunch of World War II sets planned that are brand new. One of those I said earlier, I'm producing in partnership with the Plastic General. And that's going to be something special. It's going to be beautifully designed, and it's going to feature the super strong resin that I sent you videos of, Paul.
Okay, so since you brought that up, I want to pull that video in if I can real quick. Might have to leave the screen here, but let me see if I can pull that up.
I just want to say, as you bring it up,
Yep.
that we designed this resin formulation with the concern that every toy soldier collector has voiced in the past year about resin being fragile, resin breaking at the drop of a hat. So once you see these videos, I think that everyone here will agree that those problems have been permanently solved.
All right, what do you see on the screen right now, sir?
I see my logo.
Okay, so I'm going to start the video. So those are Australians. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right. So those I just pulled off of your eBay channel, I think. All right, here goes your first video.
I am death gripping that guy's legs like a wrist grip trainer. And I'm bending his gun with my thumb. Like, look at this.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, that's not breakable, Joe Baker.
That's right. That's something new.
That looks
And now
really-
here's my favorite test. I hurled that soldier just straight out a door. No breakage.
There you go.
And then one
The
more.
throw test.
One more for good measure.
Let's shoot that guy with a BB gun and see how he holds up.
Yeah, right.
That'll be
that.
the next test. I'll set up a firing line.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Seriously.
Thank you. That was one of the first things that some of my insiders, I'll say, suggested to me. They were telling me they were getting figures from other 3D printing competitors. I won't name any names out of respect, but they were arriving broken, shattered. They were brittle. So my first top priority now, and it's been achieved, I would say, was to create a resin that simulates soft plastic, reminiscent of the Conte toy soldiers.
Yep.
Is it going to
Well,
be
what
more expensive?
Absolutely not.
Wow, that's great then.
Dude, if you can do that and pull that off, right now your price is already cheaper than other 3D printers.
Thank
I
you
don't
for
know.
saying that.
I don't know how you're
And-
staying in business, to be honest with you, but
Well, I want to talk about my price points and the way I sell my sets. I know there are other 3D printer companies out there that sell soldiers as like one-offs, and like you have to build your own set, like it's Build-A-Bear Workshop, but it's Build a Squad toy soldier business. You know what I mean?
yep.
So what I wanted to do is, when I used to get toy soldiers given to me as gifts from my father and my uncles and stuff, they came in boxes. Airfix came in boxes. The cheapo guys from the dollar store, they came in little bags or boxes. So I don't know why other companies are selling them as one, pick your soldier, pick which one you want. I guess that's useful if you're looking for one particular set, but I wanted to revive the sensation that people got when they buy a set of soldiers and boom, the whole squad's right there. You open the box, there's everybody. I don't want people
Yep.
to try and search around and collect this guy and that guy. I wanted to revive the whole sensation of getting a full platoon just right there on your mailbox.
But you're making more than just toy soldiers, though, right?
What do you mean?
Other figures?
So all of my figures are toy soldiers, right? But
Yeah.
I guess what you're asking
Eras, I
are my
guess.
eras. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our top priority right now has been and will be for the foreseeable future is World War One. But thanks to 3D design and printing technology, there's no limit to what we're able to produce. So I'm sure that you guys have probably seen on our website or eBay that we have toy soldier sets featuring video games, soldiers from video games, soldiers from pop culture like that show Squid Games, toy soldiers just general space age like the astronauts that you kindly showed us earlier. We're able to design anything. And actually, to tie back to one of your earlier questions, I have a lot of people emailing me asking, "Are you going to make this set? Are you going to explore this era?" And so I eventually plan to host a poll and I'm thinking of maybe even opening up this concept to my entire client list and saying that you guys have the opportunity to decide what you want to see next. What are your thoughts on that?
You already got one request in the chat room. Patrick Grain says we need more civilians and refugees.
That is something that I've been asked of a lot. We're planning on making World War II era civilians and modern era civilians. And we actually have a lot of modern sets as well. I saw somebody here was asking you, Paul, to see your police soldiers. Our modern police set, not only do we have one that comes with a vehicle, but we also have the complimentary gangsters set as well. So it's already it's battlefield ready right there.
Yep.
Now, are you actually having sets sculpted, or I know that a lot of yours are available from like CG Trader and things like that, but are you actually? It sounds like with a Plastic General, at least, that you are designing from scratch some new figures. Is that accurate?
Joe, I'm glad you asked that. And Paul, I'm sure you remembered we had this conversation before.
Yeah, I was going to have you explain that whole thing.
Yeah, so Joe, I'm glad you brought this up. Let's go ahead and set the record straight. A few of my sets are available through CG Trader, and we have the rights to sell those sets under a partnership. And then other sets of ours are designed through myself or an in-house designer. So we're operating a dual model for our business. Some of our sets are sold via partnership. We have somebody like Kazakh Miniatures from CG Trader selling us his pre-sculpted sets, and then we also have our own designs like our video game sets, our pop culture sets, and now with Christian, we're going to be exploring designing our own World War II sets. And as you can see, we're building a balanced catalog.
Did I tell you, man? You guys are on it.
Plus,
you're American made, right? You're
yes,
here.
sir. We are proudly hosted in Virginia. Go ahead, Paul.
Yep. No. I'm just saying we're not waiting 6 weeks for it to be sent from China or wherever. It's
precisely
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice. Wow.
Have you ever printed any of Explorer's models? The 3D Sculptor Explorer does a lot of World War II that's on there. Artageo has a lot of them, but he also has some. And I was told that his weren't always ready to print right away. I didn't know if you had any experience with files like that.
I do have one set featuring Artajoel's soldiers, and I will agree with that assessment that it was hard to print, but I will also say that once I figured out how to make sure it printed and I readjusted the sculpts myself on Blender, it became my #1 best-selling set.
Yeah.
I had asked you earlier because I had a lot of questions when I took your stuff to Gettysburg for the Toy Soldier Show. People were asking, will you put bases on the bottoms? I know something like the SAS ones had them, but the other ones didn't. Is that an
Yeah.
option for people, or are you gonna put bases on all of them now, or not?
Yeah, so let me explain the reasoning behind not having bases, and then I'll answer your question because it's a funny story. So, just like you, Paul, I also got a phone call from the Plastic General at about 10 p.m. And he was telling me, he was venting about certain toy soldier companies taking their figures and giving them bases that resembled statues. One of the quotes I remember he said is, "How am I supposed to take this guy with a destroyed clock and a tree log at his feet and put
Yeah.
him on top of a tank? I can't do it."
Yeah.
So that got me thinking. I was like, okay. So I started researching around the community, asking around. It seemed a lot of people shared Christian's opinion. These sculpture statuesque bases were a no-go. So I was like, okay, let me swing the pendulum in the opposite direction. No bases at all. Let people decide if they want to get bases. And that was good for a time, but then I came to the realization that I should just go ahead and preload the bases onto the figures, and if somebody doesn't want them, then I sell them at a discounted price with the bases removed so they could use it for their customizations or dioramas or what have you. But to answer your question directly, Paul, from now on, every single set we produce will include bases by default unless the purchaser doesn't want them.
Oh. And are they going to be like sculpted bases or just a plain flat base?
So I'm glad you asked that because I'm sure you noticed the difference between our British paratroopers and our British SAS. So our paratroopers just had a regular base, and the SAS had the sculpted base, like a little bit of detail and
Yeah, a little
flourish.
detail. I like that.
So right now we're still in the experimental phase. At this point, just to be quite honest with you, it's how creative I'm feeling, you know.
Okay.
So, but with that said, I'm thinking of incorporating a premium on the detailed bases, and here's the way I picture it. So, right now we have two options, right? We have bases at regular price, no bases at discounted price. But I'd also like to include a third option that is detailed bases at a slight price premium.
I see no problem in that, man. Like I said, your prices are already cheaper than most places, so I don't think guys are going to balk at another $1 or $2, whatever.
Yeah, and plus it'll just be an option, like supersize your fries at McDonald's type of
Right?
thing,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, you got another request here, Jim. Jim says, "How about Civil War personalities like Hancock, Reynolds, and Longstreet?"
So the American Civil War is something I really want to explore. My father, who although he doesn't have any interest in the toy soldier hobby, has himself told me that he has a hunch that Civil War soldiers will make collectors go crazy. So the fact that even him as an outsider suggested that, and now I have Mr. Jim here asking about that as well, I think that's a good sign that could be one of our next areas of exploration.
There you go. Not just Civil War though. I think if you do personality, I don't think did anybody ever make a Patton one? Did everybody make a MacArthur one? Or
There is a patent in several, and I think
well, I've seen them in lead or metal, but I haven't
metal.
seen
Yes,
plastic.
but
I haven't seen it in
Marx has a
plastic.
patent, and
So
the
it's-
Montgomery and a Rommel.
You mean the BMC ones?
No,
We wanted Sergeant Rock.
Oh, Sergeant
yeah.
Rock, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Such a-
Yeah,
but
I
look at
see.
they got
I see
statue
those
bases.
pictures.
Those are the Marks
Yeah.
Generals. Yeah.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
statue bases, man. That's
16
not-
millimeter.
yeah.
I want
Well,
Patton
we-
slapping a soldier, man.
That's
I
what
want,
I thought.
I want Rommel on top of a tank or something, man. I don't
Yeah.
want a statue. So
I actually, now that you're suggesting that, I think that's a worthy idea to explore too. Exploring personalities, and having
yeah.
them featured as heroes, extra detailed, extra crisp.
sure. Patrick Grain, I guess he's a customer of yours too. He said you had printed him some paratroopers in 1/30th, so you can scale it up or scale it down. Is that true?
Yeah, so all of my figures come in two main scales, which is typical 132 or big 132, like later Conte. But, obviously, if somebody has specific needs, they could just reach out to me. And thanks to 3D printing, it makes it easy to get you the scale that you're looking for.
Nice.
Have
So
you
one-
worked with any
one-
scans?
I'm sorry, I heard
Have
two
you worked with any
questions.
scanners?
I actually have a colleague who does scans for me, and I will say that they come out about 80% quality. It does involve cleanup on my end, but I presume where you're going with this is reviving old sets. Is that correct?
Yeah, or resizing old sets.
Correct. Yes. So that is we live in the Christian Aldo coined this term, and I'm gonna say it until the day I die. We live in the modern toy soldier renaissance. Nothing is off the table. Any old set can be remade, resculpted, and rescaled.
I want to see the Marx Germans come back, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I think Joe, what do you think? The Marx Germans, man. That would be like my first set I would ask to. Those molds are gone, man. You know that, right?
I got 100 or two. I'll sell you real cheap.
Yeah, but you said they don't look. You said they don't look like it, though, right? You said they're.
No, I just mean that the Germans are pretty common. That recasts would cost
Recast.
as much
Yeah.
or more.
Any other questions?
I want to bring up, forgive me for interjecting there. I want to bring up again the question that you, Paul, and you, Joe, brought up regarding reviving and rescaling old sets. The only concern I've had has been legality.
Correct.
And I just barely skirt it regarding the creation of pop culture toy soldiers. But if I were to directly take an old set and revive it, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But I'm pretty sure that Marx is under the dominion of Victory Buy right now, right?
I don't think so. I think they're just molds that they have bought.
Right.
Like CTS didn't pay Marx anything to redo the Civil War figures. I'm pretty sure. It's a defunct company, so I don't.
Right.
I don't think there'd be a problem with that.
I asked because I can't recall if I read something about Jeff Emall acquiring the rights to Marx or not. Because if he did, he would be the first person I talked to about reviving them under a 3D printed model.
I don't. Jeff Horowitz was the guy who had Marx.
Yeah.
After it went defunct, Jay Horowitz.
Right.
But since then, the molds were everywhere, and all sorts of different people have been producing the figures out of the molds.
I see.
For years. So I don't see a problem with Marx or any company that's defunct. Anyone that's still going, like Connie would sue you right away if you tried to do his. But my curiosity would be Elastilin. If you could do some of their 70 millimeter down to a smaller
132,
size.
yeah.
Joe, you make me think of something that I think is just accepted in the toy soldier culture, which is that these toy soldiers get knocked off and recasted. I remember you guys were talking about the recast debate with the astronaut soldiers, and I just want to say that I'll know that I've officially made it when my figures start getting knocked off and sold in dollar stores. So I think you're right. I don't think it'll be an issue with the Marx figures after all.
Well, Joe, who has the Ben-Hur stuff in Mexico? They're always doing a Ben-Hur sets.
Well, those are just Marx had a series of molds down there, and so so the molds themselves, whoever owns the molds can run whatever they want in them.
Gotcha.
I got a question for Luciano regarding regarding scale, like 132 and 130th.
Yes.
I know what, let's say, what true 132 is and what 130. The thing is, with a lot of 3D printing companies, they will, for example, if you order a 132, it'll actually be a lot, not a lot, but smaller than the actual 132. Then they tell you, well, if you really want them to match with Marx or even the Conte ones, which are a little bigger,
Yeah.
you should get 130. Where do you stand? Like, if I order 132, will it be like? Do you have an example of what company would it be, like Airfix, for example, or and 130 would be like a Conte or a TSSD or?
So I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of our customers also have voiced the same concern
Mhm.
because they've had similar experiences as you when dealing with other 3D printed toy soldier companies.
Yeah.
So now to answer your question, and Paul, I just sent you an image that'll help illustrate the point that I'm about to make here. Our 1/30th scale soldiers are set to scale match Conte figures such as the American paratroopers. And
Really?
are yes, really. And
Because they're small.
I I just sent an image to Paul to illustrate. And then our 132 scale figures are set to match early Mars plastic figures and Airfix plastic figures. And right there's the perfect illustration. That figure, our guy is all the way on the left. That's one of our British paratroopers. He's set at 1/30th, and you see he just about meets that threshold to touch that American paratrooper by Conte in the middle.
Because they like the GIs by Conte are larger than the paratroopers, and that he has like three different sizes of figures he created. So it's always tricky with Conte size.
Right, like even on the picture that I just sent to Paul, his British paratrooper is smaller than his American paratrooper. But the key here that I want everybody to remember is that our 1/30th scale matches Conte's 1/30th, and our 132 matches Airfix and Mars, and also Armies in Plastic.
Okay.
There you go.
Except you're using a smaller figure for the 1/30th, which is interesting. Not the larger size of Conte.
Could you correct me if I'm wrong? But that I could be wrong. What figure is that? The green one on the image that I sent Paul. Could you pull it up, please? Because I might actually learn something new here. That will help me here. Like you said, Paul, I'm always open to learning. So
So to me, that you mean the dark green one? That's
yeah.
that's Conte's paratrooper from his the rubber. When his was more rubbery, Joe.
Yeah, I think so.
That's that one there in the middle. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely taller than the other guys.
He has all the pockets. Yeah, that's the paratrooper.
That is the paratrooper. I was correct.
Yes.
Great. Awesome. I just want to make sure that I'm giving out the right information.
But
That
if
is all.
you put a Conti GI next to him, he'd
Yeah.
be taller than that by about half a square.
Ah, I see.
Oh, okay.
That his early stuff is smaller than his later stuff.
So I think the 130 would be probably the safest the safest one to order from because the way I see it kind of fits. It's body type and everything. Okay, he's a little bit taller, but people are different sizes. They're not all the same height.
And Luciano, which one's yours on here?
All the way on the left. It's
On
the
the left,
gray
yeah,
one
so
on the
the
left.
gray one, yeah. So he's way over
You
there.
see, it fits right perfectly in there.
Yeah.
So that's the 130, right? We have on the left.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The gray
so
one.
130. It
So
would be
if you
130.
wanted it larger to go with the others, you'd go 129th then?
Yeah. Yeah. We could scale it a little up or down to reach 132.
That's the problem
But
with size of toy soldiers. They're everywhere.
Yeah, so many different scales. Yeah, but you said it's a problem, and that's exactly what our company's trying to solve here. We took the time earlier, you mentioned scanners. We took the time to scan these figures and match the scales virtually perfectly.
Well, that's pretty cool. Hey, any possibility of doing like structures or anything else? I know you did some sandbags. I know you did some tank traps and things like that.
So I'm glad you brought that up. That's something that I wanted to discuss. So Something I've noticed in these dollar store toy soldier sets is they always come with terrain and stuff
Hmm.
and vehicles. I always thought that was cool. And then
Mhm.
also Forces of Valor, they came with some amazing looking debris and terrain
Yeah.
as well. But then now I've kind of seen that all just stopped. Now it's just toy soldier sets, and that's great. But I kind of wanted to bring back the excitement of getting soldiers and tank traps and a vehicle, etc. So right now, like you said, our sets they come with vehicles, no extra charge. Terrain like sandbags, tank traps, etc., no extra charge. But as far as selling terrain like structures on its own, that is something we are extremely interested in exploring, and we think that we're going to have to expand to FDM style printing rather than resin to keep the costs uh, a- um, low to make it make sense to sell.
Sure.
Yeah, but it is something we're exploring. Additionally, too, we when we design our structures, we want to make it so that they're modular, so that you'll get pieces that can serve as the top of a bombed out building, but you could slide them off. That way you can store them flat if you wanted to. So that's where we're going with the structures.
Yeah, that's good.
So then by next year we should have a playset box, right?
Paul, I was talking with you about designing that, man. Designing the cover art.
Between me, you, and Plastic General, I think we can come up with something.
I think so, and I think it rocked the toy soldier world.
Joe, when was the last time we had an actual playset come out? Probably Conte's, maybe, huh? Or Barzo, a new playset.
Stalingrad, the road to Stalingrad, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean that's just BMC bags thrown together.
No.
That's Stalingrad. Oh, TSSD. Stalingrad.
Barzo TSSD merger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barzo's playsets probably were the last brand new ones, but I like what BMC is doing with with their like Battle of the Bulge and things. They're putting all the components of a playset in there.
Sure, and they're keeping it affordable for kids too. I mean, it's not a collector's thing, just collectors. So.
Hey Joe, I just saw your screen get bigger there. How are those soldier sets hanging there? Because that just looks like brilliant space saving to me.
They're just all baggies. In my basement, I just screw hooks in, and
just easy to grab like that. Wow, I love that.
So,
any other questions for Luciano? So, what other eras, man? What else can we bring to him, man? I'm thinking Civil War's probably got to be next, right, Joe? When we go to the toy soldier shows, what's the big seller? It's usually World War II, then Civil War, or
Well, I think you mentioned World War One, or was that was I wrong?
I think he slipped on that because he doesn't have any World War One.
Oh, okay.
That is something I want to explore, though.
Oh, really? World War One?
Yeah, because
there's
obviously World War II is the most popular era among toy soldier collectors, I would say, but I think it's time to start expanding. And I want to give a shout out to Armies in Plastic because they have a wide range of eras, and I want to match that level. I want to explore everything. I want to explore factions that haven't been represented. I want French Foreign Legion. I made gangsters, like I said. You guys brought up astronauts. You guys brought up personalities. I want to explore the stuff that other people haven't.
Oh.
Yeah,
definitely civilians, and I think definitely of all eras. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We kind of overlooked that when we're setting up our play sets. And
here's something fun too. I'm sure you guys saw the woman play set that Jeff released. I thought it was really cool. I want to do stuff like that too. I have one idea, for example, zombies. Like World War II era zombies, modern era zombies. I think that would sell well around Halloween time. Good gift for the kids. And you know what? Now that I just said that, a good gift for the kids. A lot of people, Christian just talked to me about this 3 days ago. A lot of people are concerned that the toy soldier hobby is starting to fade away. And Paul, even in your intro, it proudly says keeping the toy soldier hobby alive. I have made it the central mission of Toy Soldier Central to not only keep the hobby alive by keeping current collectors such as yourselves excited, but also to excite the younger generation of people. And I have a multi-phase battle plan that includes creating videos on TikTok, creating reels on Instagram, creating stories on Facebook, and just catching the eyes of the younger people that might have a small interest in miniatures, hooking them onto toy soldiers, and then keeping them interested in the hobby for life. And thankfully, a lot of that work has been done for me by movies such as Pixar's Toy Story. You know, if I ask anybody in my age group, they all know who the Green Army Men are. They all have seen the toy soldiers. So we're not fighting from a net zero position here. You know, the work has
Yeah.
already been laid out by others. And now I'm going to do my part to make sure that young people keep the interest.
Wow, you got a lot of people in the chat room talking, giving you ideas and stuff. We got Bruce here asked about the Spanish Civil War. That's definitely a one overlooked.
Mhm. You know, that idea just gave birth to another idea. It combines the personalities idea that you said. Theodore Roosevelt and his Rough Riders. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
1950 sci-fi tie-ins. Oh man, you could do like King Kong. You could do some stuff like that.
Exactly.
Godzilla civilians and stuff.
No, you do all kinds of, B movie monsters. Giant
Yeah.
ants, giant praying mantis, all kinds of stuff like that.
Well, Joe,
The
there's one
1950
company.
soldiers.
There's one company out there that redid or made Planet of the Apes, right, in 1/32 scale. But they're like,
Elastowit?
yeah, but I mean, they're off the chart with price, man.
Oh my
I
God,
mean,
it's
they're-
100
And
million bucks.
their proportions are horrible.
yeah,
Are
I
they?
mean,
Do you
so-
have any, Joe?
but would you have to get the rights to the Planet of the Apes to make that?
No, a lot of them overseas don't care about that.
Yeah, I guess.
At least that's been my opinion. That
I like the idea of the Rough Riders. I think
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
PMC did a set with that.
Yeah.
E4 Airman says this is the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War. I think it's time to do some Rev War stuff. That's what I'm going to do right now.
Luciano, one question I had is
Yes, sir.
when I had some 3D stuff commissioned to be sculpted digitally,
Yes.
the first pose in a uniform was expensive, and then the ones after that were much, a third the price of that. Does that sound work-wise about what you would expect?
Not only does it sound like what I would expect, it's actually how I even price when I pay my in-house artist to design sets for me. And that's because the first pose is usually started from scratch. And
Okay.
then every subsequent pose, you're working with pre-designed assets that you could manipulate.
Yeah, because that's like with civilians and Native Americans and
Yeah.
a number of things that's difficult. It's expensive to do.
Yeah.
I guess.
Just got another request. World War II French heavy weapons team to complement the Marx troops.
All that
Not-
stuff.
This chat log is going to be preserved, right? It'll
Oh,
show
yeah.
up on that. Yeah. It's a gold mine.
Well, hey, man, I want to, we're at the top of the hour, but I don't want to let you go, man. We got 20 people in the chat room still asking questions, and I don't know how late we can keep you, but I did want to touch on some personal stuff, if that's okay.
Of course, yes. And to address the time concern, I'm here as long as I'm welcome.
Okay. You're definitely welcome, brother.
Thank you.
Getting off the subject of your company now,
Yeah.
asking some personal questions. How big's your personal toy soldier collection?
All right, let's see. I've got multiple storage boxes under my bed. I've got some in the closet. I've got a whole bookshelf full of them. It's gigantic, guys.
Right.
I got storage crates upon storage crates. It is huge. And it
What's your
ranges.
favorite line?
Oh, Forces of Valor.
Okay.
That
And you-
started the addiction.
Are you a painted guy or are you an unpainted guy?
So go ahead.
You like to keep them in the color they come in, or do you paint all your stuff?
I love to paint toy soldiers. So there's an artist out there. His name's James Viola. Really
Yep.
good painter.
Yep.
And
He's been on the show. Yep.
right. And I actually have plans to start releasing toy soldier painting videos similar to what he's been doing as well, just to showcase how to take a regular toy soldier and turn him into a army man, as he would say. Yeah, so I love painting soldiers. I have some on display on my website. I've sold plenty of painted sets, so I like to think that my painting skills are pretty good. And it's the most fun part about owning toy soldiers for me. I know some would say the most fun part is setting them up in dioramas. For others, it's the actual playing with them. But for me, it's bringing them to life by giving them color.
Very cool. And is 1/32 your favorite scale, or do you do other scales?
I like 1/30th to 1/32. I'd say that's my scale. Oh, something else I wanted to say. Just gonna drop the teaser. We have plans to expand into 1/72nd scale. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh. That's a dirty word here, man. You can't.
Yeah.
That's why I said that's all I'm gonna say.
They got their own channels, man.
Yeah.
Nah,
But
man. Anything to keep the hobby alive, brother.
As far as my scale, though, to answer your question, 1/30th, 1/32.
We had Bill from Bill's Wargaming's World on here before, and do you sell a lot to wargamers, or is it more collectors like me and Joe and John? I mean, is it more plastic guys that just want to set up dioramas, or do you selling stuff to wargame guys?
At the moment, it is for gentlemen such as yourself. However, I get frequent inquiries from wargamers who ask me to resize, rescale for their war games. So at that point, that's why I'm saying I might as well just include it as its own purchasable set. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
We just got another question in the chat room. Bruce wants to know any possibility of coming out with colored plastics as opposed to the same gray that you're going with on everything.
You know, I've been asked that a few times, and I don't think that we'll be ever leaving from the gray, because the way that you guys saw our custom resin earlier, we get that by mixing certain resins, and the resins that we work with, obviously we can't reveal that. That's proprietary, company secrets, but they're all gray. That's the only hint my competitors are going to get. They're all gray. So...
But I mean, they're very paintable. I mean, even if you just spray paint them, I mean, it's just.
Well, yeah, but at that point, that's something that the customer can do on their own, and that's something that people have told us that they do. A lot of people say they'll buy our soldiers gray and spray paint them green to get that classic army man look.
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you, Luciano? Would you sell painted sets, like, I guess for an augmented fee?
John, I'm happy you asked that, because that is one of my company's plans that I'm most excited for. Just like I mentioned to you guys that I have plans of selling the bases in 3 different ways: without base discount, with base standard, detailed base premium. I also want to eventually include the ability for people to purchase my soldier sets painted by myself and my team of artists at a little bit of a premium, of course. But they're going to look immaculate. They're going to be diorama grade.
Perfect. So pencil me in there.
Yeah, I will.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
I think you got to go to the mayonnaise jar so we can throw this guy off his game a little bit. Ask him a question that he's not ready for. We call this Rick's going to the mayonnaise jar, and he just pulls out a question.
Oh my gosh!
All right, let's see. Is the mayonnaise ready to eat, or is it sour?
No, it's okay. Luciano,
sandwich one, man. Sandwich one.
Wait, Luciano, do you believe in Bigfoot?
I want to believe.
Great answer.
All right, that's close enough.
And no, I'll ask another question. Do you want to do a Bigfoot diorama, or
figure? Come up with a figure of
figure?
Bigfoot,
Yes.
Dude, I can do it.
Figure.
Yeah, I'm open to exploring folklore sets and stuff like that.
The cryptids.
Yeah, cryptids, exactly.
Cryptids, you can come out with a whole line of cryptids, man. Then we can do a cryptid playset, man.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
You do a whole set with guys, explorers and such.
Yeah.
That's something I'm open to making.
Bigfoot holding an alien by his foot and shaking him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Something like that. Crazy.
Area 51 set.
Yeah. Well, I got one question left for you, brother.
Okay.
I asked this of all my guests, especially their first time on. Give me one good childhood memory of playing with your toys. Doesn't have to be toy soldiers. Could be your favorite Christmas, birthday, playing with the neighbor kid, something like that. Just give us one good story to end this.
Well, back in the days when I was a kid, one of my favorite pastimes was to round up the other neighborhood kids, get all our toy guns, and play war.
There you go.
And I don't have a particular favorite memory regarding that because thinking about those childhood wars makes me have that 1,000-yard stare. But just playing war on its own, man, I wish I could go back to those days just for one day and relive it again, man.
I mean, I think we all could, right?
Yeah.
So, well, hey, I want to thank you for taking your time tonight and sharing it with us. Sorry you're under the weather a little bit. Can you tell, other than we're looking at your channel right now, can you tell people how to find you?
Yes, I saw some people asking. Toy Soldier Central on everything. Toy Soldier Central on eBay, toysoldiercentral.com. If you look up Toy Soldier Central on Google, I'll be the first thing that pops up. We're Toy Soldier Central on everything. Thank you, Bruce, for the shout out and the compliment. I appreciate your support, sir.
Hey, man. Once again, I want to thank you for your time. Everybody in the chat room, thanks for chatting in. Can we have you back maybe when you're feeling better?
Paul, thank you for the invite. I would be beyond happy to come back. It's been a pleasure talking to everybody here on the panel. I learned a few new things, and I hope that I made a couple new friends here today.
Definitely, man.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Great.
Absolutely.
Look forward to talking to you sometime.
All right, buddy.
All right, buddy. Have a great week. See you next Monday. I'm not sure who our guests are yet. We're working on that, but we'll definitely have somebody Monday and Tuesday for Toy Soldier Tuesday.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great week.
Salute.